Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at top 7 Japanese motorcycles that simply never break down. Number 7. Honda Rebel 500. The Honda Rebel 500 is the kind of bike that shows up on time, does its job, and doesn't ask for a raise. Built with a 471cc parallel twin engine that Honda has basically used since dinosaurs roamed the earth, this thing is about as unpredictable as a vending machine. Press the button, get what you want. It's liquid-cooled, fuel-injected, and doesn't come with dramatic outbursts. No oil leaks, no check engine tantrums, just crank it and ride. It's so reliable, some owners have forgotten where their toolkits are. The components are built to last. The engine can easily clock 80,000 miles with regular maintenance, and we're talking about basic stuff here. $40, oil changes, and a new chain every now and then. No complicated electronics trying to reinvent the wheel. No ride modes asking for firmware updates. Just old-school Honda engineering with modern efficiency. You'll spend more time topping off your gas tank than dealing with repairs. What really seals the deal is how low maintenance the whole package is. Parts are cheap, labor costs stay down, and you don't need a PhD in motorcycle mechanics to keep it running. Even the valve adjustments, which some bikes demand like an expensive spa treatment, are spaced out generously. And yes, you could find flashier bikes, but the Rebel 500 is for people who want to ride, not wrench. It's been called boring by some, but reliability isn't supposed to be thrilling. That's kind of the point. So if you're tired of bikes that treat every weekend like an emergency room visit, the Rebel 500 is your quiet, dependable escape. It doesn't break down, doesn't complain, and doesn't drain your wallet. Number 6. Kawasaki Vulcan 900. The Kawasaki Vulcan 900 is that rare machine that seems to sip oil and chew up miles like it's got a personal vendetta against the concept of wear and tear. Built like a tank with a carburetor soul, this cruiser has earned its rep as one of the most reliable motorcycles on the road. The 903cc V-twin doesn't scream power, it hums it. It's tuned more for smooth, predictable torque than high-rev drama, which means less stress on the engine, less heat, and a lot more years before anything even thinks about going wrong. The Vulcan 900's belt drive system deserves a standing ovation. No messy chains, no constant lubing, and no whining noises. Just a quiet, efficient transfer of power that's practically allergic to failure. The liquid-cooled engine keeps things chill even in sweltering heat or stop-and-go traffic, preventing the usual overheating meltdowns that plague less prepared bikes. Plus, the 5-speed transmission is geared like it was designed by someone who actually rides, tall enough for highway cruising, short enough for city stoplights, and butter-smooth in operation. This bike isn't loaded with fancy electronics either, which is exactly why it lasts so long. No ride modes to glitch, no traction control to throw a tantrum, and no TFT screen begging for an update. Just old-school reliability wrapped in sleek cruiser looks. You'll find Vulcan 900S with over 70,000 miles on the clock, still starting up like it's their first Sunday ride. Regular oil changes and a few $100 a year in basic maintenance are usually all it asks. In a world full of latest tech and bold new redesigns, the Kawasaki Vulcan 900 quietly rolls by, unbothered, unbreakable, and oddly smug. Number 5. Yamaha MT-07. The Yamaha MT-07 is the kind of motorcycle that laughs in the face of breakdowns. Known for its rock-solid reliability, this middleweight naked bike is practically allergic to the repair shop. It's not that it doesn't want to visit, it just doesn't need to. Built with Yamaha's legendary CP2 parallel twin engine, the MT-07 is a mechanical sweetheart that runs smoother than your neighbor's lawnmower and lasts longer than most relationships. Riders report these bikes crossing 70,000 miles with nothing more than routine oil changes and a bit of chain love. That's serious longevity, especially when you consider its price tag hovers around $8,000 new. The 68 9cc engine doesn't overheat, doesn't leak, and doesn't beg for attention. Valve adjustments? You won't even think about them until after 25,000 miles. Even the fuel economy is solid, averaging over 50 miles per gallon, which means fewer stops and more open road. And yes, the frame, suspension, and build quality are all tough enough to handle America's potholes without developing a nervous tick. The best part? You don't need a trust fund to maintain it. Annual service costs rarely go beyond a few $100 unless you treat it like a rental, which it'll probably survive anyway. This is the bike you buy when you want something that works, stays working, and lets you ride more and worry less. In a world full of expensive tech toys wearing motorcycle outfits, the Yamaha MT-07 shows up with a wrench, a grin, and a promise. I won't let you down. Number 4. Suzuki Boulevard M109R. The Suzuki Boulevard M109R is the kind of bike that looks like it bench presses Harleys before breakfast, and just like a gym rat who never skips leg day, it doesn't skip a beat. This beast doesn't break down because, frankly, it was built not to. The 1783cc V-twin engine is engineered with more precision than a NASA launch. It's liquid-cooled, shaft-driven, and tuned to run smoother than your favorite playlist on a Sunday ride. Suzuki didn't just toss parts together and hope for the best, they built the M109R like it had to survive a Mad Max sequel. Maintenance? Minimal. The shaft drive means no greasy chain drama, and valve adjustments? You won't be doing those every other oil change. It's not picky about climate either. Florida heat or Colorado chill, it'll crank up without sounding like it needs therapy. Riders regularly push these past 80,000 miles, with some hitting 6 digits on the odometer, still riding strong. That's a whole lot of open road and very few repair bills. As for parts, Suzuki made sure they last longer than most extended warranties. The brakes are overbuilt, the frame is solid, and the electronics don't fry every time it sees a raindrop. And when you do need to replace something, it won't drain your wallet like a European cruiser. Think $60 spark plugs, not $600 surprises. In a world where some bikes are in the shop more than on the street, the M109R just keeps showing up, mile after mile. It's like the strong, silent type at a biker bar. Reliable, low maintenance, and always ready to roll. Number 3. Kawasaki Versys 650. The Kawasaki Versys 650 is that rare kind of bike that just doesn't know how to quit. Built with the reliability of a hammer and the endurance of a postal worker, this midweight adventure tourer has earned a reputation for being one of the most dependable motorcycles you can throw a leg over. It doesn't break down, not because it's invincible, but because it's been engineered with the kind of attention to detail that borders on obsessive. This bike is practically allergic to drama. At the heart of the Versys 650 is its bulletproof 649cc parallel twin engine, which has been tried, tested, and tortured over the years, and still comes back asking for more. It doesn't matter if you're racking up 5,000 miles a year or 50,000. The engine keeps humming along like a lazy Sunday morning. Owners routinely report clocking over 90,000 miles without major issues, and most of them only spend money on oil changes, tires, and gas station snacks. You're looking at under $300 a year in basic maintenance if you're not out here trying to reinvent MotoGP. What really sets it apart is the simplicity. No complicated electronics begging for software updates, no quirky sensors throwing tantrums. Just good old-fashioned mechanical reliability with enough tech to keep things modern without tipping into overkill. The parts are affordable, widely available, and you won't need to sell a kidney to replace a clutch lever. So, if you're the kind of rider who'd rather ride than wrench, the Versys 650 might just be your spirit animal. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it shows up every single time and never asks for much in return. Number 2. Suzuki SV650. The Suzuki SV650 is the kind of motorcycle that just refuses to quit. It's not flashy, it's not trying to win any beauty pageants, but when it comes to reliability, it's practically bulletproof. This bike has earned its legendary reputation the old-fashioned way by showing up to work every day and doing its job without complaint. The SV650 has been around since the late 90s, and even with riders pushing past 100,000 miles, the engine still purrs like it's fresh off the lot. It's not magic, it's that good old 645cc V-twin that just keeps going, like it's powered by stubbornness and good decisions. Suzuki didn't overcomplicate things here. There's no temperamental electronics, no fussy components that cost $1,200 to fix when they sneeze the wrong way. It's basic in the best way. Straightforward fuel injection, low-friction components, and a frame that doesn't twist like a pretzel. The maintenance schedule is reasonable. Valve checks every 15,000 miles, oil changes that don't cost more than a decent dinner date, and parts that are so affordable it almost feels like cheating. What really seals the deal is how forgiving it is. Miss an oil change by a few hundred miles? It won't throw a tantrum. Get caught in rain, cold, or a heat wave. It just shrugs and keeps rolling. And despite all that resilience, it still manages to be a blast to ride. It's the motorcycle version of that old Toyota pickup that survived the apocalypse on Top Gear. In a world where too many bikes act like divas, the Suzuki SV650 is the dependable workhorse that outlasts them all. Keep the oil fresh. Treat it like you actually care. and it'll ride with you for decades. Number 1. Honda Goldwing. The Honda Goldwing is the motorcycle equivalent of that one neighbor who's been mowing the lawn every Saturday for 30 years without ever skipping a beat. This bike doesn't just run, it keeps running, long after your knees, back, and half the bikes you've owned have called it quits. Built like a luxury cruise ship on two wheels, the Goldwing is known for logging over 200,000 miles without batting an eye. Some have even pushed well past 300,000 miles, still running smoother than your uncle's second marriage. So, what's the secret sauce? For starters, Honda builds this thing like they're trying to win a bet with God. The flat-six engine isn't just powerful, it's engineered to last longer than most pickup trucks. The shaft drive? Practically maintenance-free. No chains to lube, no drama. Just smooth, quiet power delivery for decades. And the electronics? Honda doesn't slap things on just because they're flashy. Everything is stress-tested, heat-tested, and probably apocalypse-tested. The build quality borders on obsessive. Fasteners don't strip, switches don't stick, and panels don't rattle after 50,000 miles. It's put together with the kind of precision that would make a Swiss watchmaker cry. And yeah, maintenance costs money, but with the Goldwing, you're paying for regular upkeep, not surprise repairs that punch you in the wallet at 2 a.m. If reliability had a showroom, this bike would be parked in the center with a smug grin. And with this, we have reached the end of this video. If you found it helpful, then make sure to like it and subscribe the channel for future upcoming videos.